Hello and welcome to another week of building Morak. Last week we got these 3 skiffs created and loaded them onto this TECHNIC system. This week we need to actually make sure that TECHNIC system works. You'll notice that most of my progress this stream was actually conducted on a live stream, so I might be cutting in and back of footage from that just to show you how that all went down, because you can see that this just isn't good enough. Let's hit the intro. Okay, so here's a heavily sped up version of the live stream that I just did a couple of minutes ago, basically going through this TECHNIC function. I basically switched it so that they were no longer hitting each other and all moving in the same direction at the same time. It took a while, but in the end, I think it didn't turn out too bad. Basically, it just did what I wanted to. Was I happy with it? Not completely. But you'll see what I do about my not happiness of it. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. You'll see what I do about that in just a bit now. But here's what this progress actually looks like. Okay, so after that progress, we got to this point where I can actually safely say that I think I've successfully finished another bit of TECHNIC. Basically, what was happening was I had these offset. Like, I'm using these small yellow pieces here to complete the rotations, but I had each one offset so that each of the skiffs were kind of like this one was moving first and these two were kind of slowly chasing it behind. What I've now changed it to is that they all just sway side to side at the same time, because before my issue was that these would hit each other, which would put them out of place, which would destroy everything. Now they all just sway individually, which doesn't look as good, but it's basically, it works and it doesn't break every time. So I will test this now in 3, 2, 1. See, it just much more smoothly, they go back and forth against each other. And they do have the movement now, which I wanted. Now this is good, however, it doesn't quite look as impressive as them crossing over each other, because it just looks, well, simple. Because it is. And now, a couple of people in that live stream chat were saying, oh, there is a way that you can fix this. Just make the distance between this and this bigger, so that they don't hit each other. And the only way I can do that is by moving this out. But you can see there's nowhere else for this to move out to, because that's the end of this base plate. And I've got my 16 by 16 base here, which will be the grass section where the trees are. So I've taken the executive decision to make this mock bigger again. So I'm going to pull it another 16 studs, another 32 studs down this way, so that I can cut a little bit of space out to move this back so that they do not hit each other anymore. Yeah, so then I took the next step in the stream to do this. So there you see, I came up with this little number. I'm trying to move it one-handed. Come on, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. There we go. Okay, it was about to fall off the table, but there we go. Move the light back a tad. Spin this around. And it should just perfectly line up and connect. There we go. So there you go. That's another 32 studs in length. You can see it does add quite a lot to it when you move all the way down. I realized I did forget to make a space for this, which is what the entire point of putting this in was. So I'll need to remove a couple of studs down here to move this out, probably to around, I want to say around this point, giving me the rest area for grass. So this is probably like, is that a single red plate? Yeah, probably around to like halfway towards the bottom of that red plate is where I'm going to move this system to. And yeah, hopefully that means these will be able to work a lot better. We found ourselves in another Technic episode, boys and girls. Hope you enjoy. First, we'll do this little thing though. You can see here is what was initially the length that this initially just connected to here. So this basically shows you that's what the width of it would be. This is what the width of it is going to be now. It's not a massive difference, but it is going to make a significant change to the mock, I believe at least. So I'm going to basically just move this from this plate from the bottom onto this plate and just move that in there, because then that'll perfectly work. So let's do that. Okay, so after a little bit of trial and error, here we are. I've cut out the hole where I want to situate this part of the model. So you can see I've now got a fair gap in between there to hopefully mean they'll no longer hit each other. And I'm ready again for another Technic test. So let's see how badly it gets destroyed this time. 3, 2, 1. Why is that not moving? Oh. Why is this? Why have we stopped? Oh, this has been... It's been pushed. Oh, is that the entire base plate moving? Oh no. Oh no, sir. Right, let's... wait for it to load back in. Line up. And it's getting pushed out. If I hold it in... Right, if I hold it in my hand, now it's moving. It's quite violent. Is it supposed to be doing that? Oh, oh no. It's really getting flung around. Like, these two are quite stable. But this one, again, like, and then if I let go of my hand, look at that gap there in the plates. It'll get slightly bigger and it'll just push away. That's not supposed to happen. I said I didn't want more episodes of Technic failures, but it kind of seems like the case that I've set for myself. Right, the issue now seems to be the way that because I've made this modular so I can move the base plates as I want to, it means that it just pulls them apart. So this is really difficult. I'm guessing if I connect it via Technic pins, it may hold together. Let's try that. Okay, so this is now Technic pinned in. As you can see, moving this, it's pretty sturdy. Like, okay. I've also taken off the side engine from this skiff, as I know that was causing a lot of the weight issues. So I'm hoping with that gone, we should be fine. Now I am ready for another test, because y'all love the tests, to see if this works. So let's give it a go. In 3, actually move this forward, because that green one hits the bottom of that cabinet there a little bit. So we'll move it back to there, and we can now try it. Let's see how we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, immediately I'm noticing this is wobbling a lot less. Still wobbling a little bit, like this back one's actually wobbling quite a lot. I think that's because it was off. but like the wobble is so much significantly less without that engine. So I think this engine was the correct answer as to why that was being so weird. But this is also, it hasn't stopped moving, so I think the Technic pin strategy did work. Okay. Right, so that's some good news. Now, basically, I need to reset these so that they are now off the side again, so that they now move, like, differently to each other. So again, it'll be like them crossing back over instead of just going side to side as they were before. Let's do it! And here we are now. Here's a new little angle view with the old base plate that I have been working on for ages, and these new ones which I've stretched out. You can see here that we've got a now considerable gap between these two, so I'm going to have to move this slightly along to give another gap in there. And that means they should be able to move behind one another a lot more freely. I still haven't fully finished the Technic mechanism, which I know was kind of the point of this episode, but I've kind of run out of time, even though I have got quite a lot done. It's just quite hard to see. But thank you very much for watching this week's episode of Building Morak. It's been... I think we've actually got some fair progress done in the week, even though it doesn't quite look like that. But if you like this week's update, like the video. That's what the like button's there for. Comment if you think it was a good idea to make the mock even wider. And subscribe if you're new so you do not miss next week's episode of Building Morak. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And goodbye.